I have a very interesting and current topic today, anti-vaccination paradox. We live in 21st century and we know that the lifespan of modern man has been extended thanks to the invention of antibiotics and vaccines. Excessive and improper use of antibiotics has led to the formation of resistant bacteria strains. Although it is clear how many lives have been saved thanks to vaccines, the anti-vaccine movement is gaining strength around the world. The first Pasteur Institute in Serbia was founded in Niš on June 7, 1900, and only 12 years after the Pasteur Institute in Paris was inaugurated. Kingdom of Serbia at that time was small, underdeveloped, and poor country. The establishment of the Pasteur Institute was a great and visionary step of the Kingdom of Serbia towards the development of modern health care and raising the health culture of the people. Annually, at the Pasteur Institute, in anti-rabies ward were treated about 600 patients infected with rabies. On this photo is Pasteur Institute in Niš in 1900. We can only imagine how impressive this building was for the people of that time in Serbia. Over 80% of the population was illiterate, but vaccination against rabies and variola was carried out. Nowadays, only 2% of citizens are illiterate, and anti-vaccine movement is growing in Republic of Serbia. Anti-vaxxers are feared of mandatory COVID-19 vaccines more than the virus itself. In the midst of the SARS-CoV-2 pandemic, we have such paradox. In 1900, about 80% of citizens in Serbia were illiterate, and we had successful vaccination against variola and rabies. In 2020, we have only 2% of literate citizens in Serbia and growing anti-vaccine movement. There are three groups of people according to their vaccination attitudes. The majority group comprise people who have been persuaded of the merits of vaccination. Second group comprise dogmatic anti-vaxxers, and there are no arguments that can change their views. They believe in what they want to believe. In the third group are people who have doubts. They want to do the right thing, but they are undecided. We need to focus on this group of people and give them right arguments. Who are anti-vaxxers? Conspiracy theorists, various religious groups, people influenced by anti-vaxxers who fear that vaccines can cause autism, Alzheimer's disease, Parkinsonism, infertility, or permanently change someone's genetics. Entrepreneurs who form distrust in vaccines and expose others for products purporting to have health benefits. And a few high-profile hucksters who are exploiting and encouraging anti-vaccine sentiment to make money. There are two major types of disinformation about the coronavirus vaccines. Cause and effect stories that erroneously tie a person's untimely death to the fact they recently got a COVID-19 vaccine. And another big lie conspiracy theories claiming that the vaccine can cause all kinds of major side effects like infertility or even to permanently alter someone's genetics. Anti-vaccination theories are served every day on social media. Virus COVID-19 doesn't exist at all. People don't die. It's all made up. Virus is not of a natural origin, and there are different speculations of the virus source. Maybe it's made in China or in USA or by aliens. The disease is caused by a poison aerosol which they are spraying from airplanes. Vaccines will kill us. We will be microchipped by vaccination. Vaccines contain pig serum and Muslims should avoid it. Politicians have conspired around the world because the planet is overpopulated. Satanists have created a new virus to reduce the number of people on the planet. Recipes of homebrewed cures, which don't work of course, are offered to everyone. Although smaller, a group of anti-vaxxers is very active and aggressive and manage to highly influence on undecided people in the main online network. It doesn't matter that anti-vaccination claims are very often based on someone's paranoia, conspiracy theories, meaningless lies, and they are without a scientific basis. As Joseph Goebbels said, if you repeat a lie often enough, it becomes accepted as a truth. The anti-vaccination movement could overwhelm pro-vaccination voices online. If that happens, the consequences would be deleterious and stretch not only over COVID-19 pandemic, but over many other infectious diseases like measles and polio. Opposition to vaccination against SARS-CoV-2 could amplify outbreaks of COVID-19. Good example is the outbreak of measles in 2019. According to WHO and United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, measles cases worldwide increased to 869,700 in 2019. Global measles deaths climbed and are estimated to 207,500 lives in 2019. Prevention with vaccination is the only solution for COVID-19 pandemic as well as for measles outbreak. At least 90% of individuals in every population needs to be immune to ensure community protection for everyone through vaccination against easily transmissible viruses. Experts are concerned about new variants of SARS-CoV-2, which showed up in Australia, India, United Kingdom, or in South Africa. World Health Organization has warned that a pandemic of false information about COVID-19 is spreading online. The Center for Countering Digital Hate is warning that the growing anti-vaccine movement could undermine the rollout of any future vaccine against COVID-19. Anti-vaccine groups have 31 million followers on Facebook, 38.7 million followers on Instagram, and 7 million people are subscribing to similar accounts on YouTube. It is calculated by the CCDH that anti-vaccine movement could realize $1 billion in annual revenues for social media firms. Facebook could earn as much as $989 million. Are we losing battle with anti-vaxxers? How many lives will be lost in vain? Where should we draw the line? Can we remove the anti-vaccine content from the platforms? Does it work? Deplatforming is an issue that threatens the freedom of the speech. Would it shut down conspiracy theorists and campaigners? Are we at risk to make them into martyrs? They could use that to take advantage of the credibility of their arguments that they are speaking the truth. Theoretical framework reproduces the recent explosive growth in anti-vaccination views and predicts that these views will dominate in a decade. we need new policies and approaches to interrupt this shift to negative views. The staff in the social media firms are putting pressure on management to get things right. People want to feel good about where they work. Facebook uses fact checkers to identify and label false information about COVID-19. Twitter has similar policies. Alongside Facebook, it has also offered free advertising space to WHO and national health authorities. In 2019, several social media firms pledged to act against the anti-vaccine movement. Facebook announced that it would not recommend content that contained misinformation on vaccines. YouTube removed advertisements from anti-vaccine videos. Twitter ensured that the National Health Service or Department of Health and Human Services would appear as the first result for anyone searching for vaccine-related topics in the UK and USA. In August 2020, Facebook deleted a video posted by the US President Donald J. Trump, in which he suggested that children were almost immune to SARS-CoV-2. But would it be enough? We can conclude distrust in scientific expertise is dangerous. Opposition to vaccination against SARS-CoV-2 could amplify outbreaks of COVID-19. The herd immunity threshold is very high. More than 95% coverage is necessary to interrupt virus transmission. Also, the pro-vaccine platforms are still not acting quickly enough. It must not be allowed lies to prevail over the truth. Any false news or misinformation about vaccines should be exposed. Health professionals have to be active and speak for science because science cannot speak for itself. Leading authorities, physicians and scientists should talk about the importance and effects of vaccines and the consequences of non-vaccination. The light should be thrown on malign influence of anti-vaccine actors and weaknesses of their arguments. Financial penalties and advertising boycotts should be introduced against social media companies that decline to remove material designed to support and promote anti-vaccine rhetorics. Finally, it has never been easy to vaccinate. Edward Jenner also had problems with anti-vaxxers. The proof is a caricature from 1802 of Jenner vaccinating patients who feared it would make them sprout cow-like appendages. It was not easy to win the battle for vaccination in the past. It is not easy to win this battle today, but we have to fight and we have to win, because this is the only way how to overcome this pandemic with COVID-19.